Production and delivery numbers are in and they're so deeply disappointing, but are they really when we could see it coming a mile away? I would argue that it is not as bad of news as some will make you think, but let's not go to Google News because they will tell you the worst is happening all the time. No fault to Google, they're just reporting what everyone else is reporting. It is an aggregator, and when I need to look at things on the aggregate, I talk to Herbert because he makes me brighter. If you checked out our April Fool's video, he got so bright, it was unbearable, and we had some fun with that. I did, of course, 6 very silly videos for April Fool's Day, and the regulars loved it, and the new people were very confused. We're going to have a chat about all this and so much more. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So Herbert, I, of course, saw the production and delivery numbers. The first one I saw was a number that was so low. I was like, oh my gosh, how did I miss by so much? And then I realized, no, that's the deliveries. On production, I was off by about 10,000, which is great, which is 2.5%. I'll take a miss of 2.5%. But then I, of course, had to check our good friends Google News to see what they're saying. And oh my gosh, Herbert, the sky is falling. The top of the search results is all about the Canada rebate. Really? That's your top? Okay. Well, Warren Buffett's $1 trillion Tesla takeover in April Fool's masterstroke. Right. Great. And then this one's still reporting it from yesterday. Wow. Warren Buffett acquires it. Did Warren Buffett? Oh my gosh, guys, check your calendars.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. Not every April Fool's joke will land, and some people are trying to want to make you the butt of the joke. I didn't take that approach because I understand how comedy works. So let's just get to this. Opinion: Warren Buffett's bet on BYD keeps paying off as Tesla car sales plunge. Plunge, Herbert. Who could have seen it coming? Would you agree that plunge is the right word?
Absolutely not. It's just a tiny number, but also you got to understand, like I just saw an article, same thing, JP Morgan talking about this, and they have 0 words that says Model Y factories, nothing.
Right. And now CNN, fair, BYD posts robust growth in car sales as it takes on Tesla globally. That is the correct headline. Economic Times, have you seen their car? When Elon Musk openly laughed at BYD, a mockery that didn't age well. Do you know how long?
A decade ago. Yeah.
That was a decade. That was more than a decade ago. And did you see their cars? Because they were a mockery. They were not serious cars. He didn't say they will never be a competitor. He said they are not a competitor, because at the time they were not. And Elon and Tesla are keenly aware of the power of BYD. Why aren't you posting this about all the other companies that still don't take BYD seriously? Tesla sales plunge, biggest decline in history. There you go, CNN. Now you're back on your game. You know, gotta have a good headline. Elon Musk backlash turns into global sales slump. Now you and I have discussed that. How much of this sales slump is related to people's opinion when the cars aren't for sale?
Exactly. So let's break it down, right? You had Tesla kind of announce for you on January 29th, and they said that we are now shutting down 4 factories so that we can build the brand new Model Y. We make, but it's going to be several weeks of shutdowns, several weeks. So let's say what do you think several is? 3-4 weeks each week.
3. Just say 3 to be polite.
Okay, well, that's the minimum number, I think, 3. Let's say there's 3 weeks of shutdown, and they're making 28,000 Model Ys per week. That's 75,000 right there, just because they shut down the factories so they can retool and then bring on very slowly the new Model Y as you bring that back up as well. So, and then Jeff Lutz does a fantastic job. You can't just take those numbers and go, that's the delivery number and that's the production number. And that means that all of that was because of brand damage, when you need to consider how much inventory did they start with, how much inventory did they have now, and what they purposely did for this quarter, as you saw it in Q1, they shut down the inventory. They didn't, as some companies would have built of the new model, the old Model Y, try to pump that up as high as you can so that when you shut down the factory, you've got inventory to sell. They chose not to do that, and they switch over as fast as they can. In the same way, they have more inventory now because they chose not to slow down now that they got these factories, especially in China, pumping out these new Model Ys at scale now. They didn't slow that down you're going to have higher production than you have deliveries. Now, is there brand damage? Yeah, there probably is. We know that in China there isn't, right? The Chinese numbers look very, very strong. In Europe, it's probably country by country. You can't just say Europe. You got to look at country by country where that might have been affected. Now, the US, we don't know. Could have been. But I don't know if this is real or this is a good way to think of it. But I was just, this is absolutely wrong. Just I know that it's wrong. But just let me play me out a little bit. In the deliveries was 26,000 less than production in Q1. 26,000. First of all, we'll forget everything I just said. Forget about inventory on hand and inventory now. Let's forget about shutdown of factories. Let's say that all of this was brand damage, 26,000 less this year. Well, let's multiply it by 4. Now, you can't do that as well because Q1 is usually less numbers than the following years. But let's multiply by 4. That's 100,000 cars less per year for the year. They're going to sell, what, 1.8 million cars at the end of the year? Talking 5%. Even if all of this was attributed to brand damage, we're not talking about plunging of sales.
And we do know there are people who are now more inclined to buy a Tesla because of Elon's politics. I'm waiting to see them appear in the numbers. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying the numbers do not show it yet. But that is all true. And, well, when GM retools for their new car, we don't see a dip. Right, because they have 6 months of inventory sitting around. They could close down for months and you'd never know. It's ridiculous. Well, let's get to some even better headlines. Market Watch, Tesla's deliveries were even worse than feared, and the stock is sinking. Well, we're recording this, on Wednesday. So let's see how much it sunk. Wow, it sunk negative 5.2%, or rather rose 5%. So that's not what sinking means. A lot of these sites are trying to extrapolate from incomplete data, and it shows. It just shows.
You can take any numbers you want and you can create your own story out of it. And these guys clearly don't understand how, again, the details of what's actually happening. Break it down a little bit more, just like one step lower than just the high levels. Oh, they sold less cars, a lot less than everybody expected. What? What were you expecting? We were doing our best in the last month explaining that the 28,000 Model Ys per week was the run rate. They shut down the factory for 3 weeks or more. What do you think that's going to do to hundreds of thousands? And yet that wasn't the number that people were expecting. So,
and when you look at the production and delivery, you'll see, well, they produced way more than they delivered. That's a problem, right? No, that's restocking the depletion from the previous quarter when they were clearing out inventory. Tesla is not like other car companies. The 2025, Camry is so similar to the 2024 Camry that there's no reason to slow production. It's not like anyone's going to say, oh, I'm so close to the 25, I'm going to wait. Even if it's the all new 2025 where they might do major changes, no one's waiting. Where with the refresh Model Y, it was hotly anticipated. People were absolutely waiting. Tip ranks, the pain is not over for bruised Tesla stock. Come on. Tesla rivals see their chance to overtake Elon Musk personally as an individual, not even the company, but Tesla rivals are eyeballing the man himself, which is
which is weird that's an article written yesterday when April 2nd is the date when the tariffs can't come into play, and Tesla is the most insulated from the tariffs. GM top 2 EVs that they make are made in Mexico. They're going to be hit hard. Ford already announced that they're going to be hit hard, especially if the parts, which come into play in a month from now. And then the other, of course, everyone else except for Tesla. So, okay, the EV makers see their chance because of brand damage. It's just tiny compared to what the tariffs are going to do to these car companies. So it's all magnitude, and this is good headlines, but it's just not. It's ridiculous.
it's not the reality. We've got more brilliance, the great Tesla sell-off, and I'm not going to click on it, but I'm guessing this has to do with trade-ins. Look, I've been trying to find these miracle bargains on trade-ins because, as you know, I work pretty regularly with the guys at Platt Auto in Milwaukee, Oregon. They're not a sponsor, but whenever they get a fun new vehicle, they'll call me up and say, hey man, come drive it. And the prices of secondhand Teslas is not plummeting. If it was, that would be wonderful. If people were trading them in, did you know that more people are trading in Model Ys now? Well, yeah, because the new one's out. I don't know if you know how that, I don't know if you've met a human, but that's how it works. And and the headlines I'm seeing about the monster depreciation. I covered this yesterday in an episode of Fast Charging with B&B, my podcast with Bear's Workshop. We were only on a 22-month hiatus. They because it was April Fool's and I like to have fun. But on this one, they're comparing the MSRP from pandemic times to the trade-in value now, while ignoring that no one was paying MSRP for a legacy car. They were paying 8,000 over, 10, 20,000 over just to get the car. And you have to include that in the cost of acquisition. Elon Musk's chaotic Tesla layoff strategy hits okay, well, that's not even about the company. What to know about the backlash against Tesla? Okay. Gamble on MAGA customers won't work. Okay.
Those were a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, these are old articles now.
Well, but this is what Google News is showing me today.
Yeah.
Tesla board asked Elon to step down. I'm assuming that was an April Fool's joke.
Exactly.
So this is not great stuff. This is lazy, and I think reloading the page to see if anything's
it's
changed.
sad though, right? You just went through an entire page of Google News. This is Google News, right? It's supposed to be objective, putting out the best articles out there, or finding the ones that are most accurate, hopefully the most there. And not a single one of them. I didn't see a single one that was accurate.
I didn't see a single one that mentioned energy deployments. No, Google News is not trying to be accurate. They're not trying to be fair. They're not trying to be balanced. They're trying to get you to engage and stay engaged.
No, that's true.
They are a product like anything else.
Good point.
And in the reload, we do have some slightly different stuff. Elon stepping down.
I think that could be true. Political, that's a new news that came out. They say political there, the Trump inner circle, or Trump told the inner circle, Musk will leave soon. Apparently there's like 100 and something days, 140 days that he has a certain designation as a contractor. That's going to run out. So that might be the same time that he's going to do that.
And I think that's just a paper number. I don't think that means anything. I think if it was done sooner, he'd leave. If it was done later, he'd be permitted to stay. But fire at dealership near Rome, Tesla destroys that. I mean, we're not even the takedowns over the weekend. Where's the news? Where's the context? Where's the thing we're looking from? Loser. Musk endures waves of gloating on X after, I mean, come on, guys. I'm looking for the topic Tesla. That is what I was searching for. And this is what I get. So it is a whole bunch of fun. And I know there's a lot. It's really fun to hate on legacy media. They want to take Tesla down. I don't see it. I've studied it closely. I did a 4-month series where I mathematically analyze the news every day. Now, what these guys want is clicks, and clicks sell. If it was just about taking down Elon, you'd see just as many negative stories about SpaceX, but you don't. SpaceX gets very fair, usually good coverage because SpaceX is a very fair, usually good company. The headlines match the stories, and that's because the consumers of space news don't buy into the clickbait. They are too smart for it.
Yeah. You know what I'm hearing more and more, though? My friends now will send me an article like this, and they ask me true or false. And I'm glad that they're doing that, right? Because they want to hear the other side. And because previously they would just take an article of that and believe that it's absolutely true. Then I will explain what part of it is true, what part of it is false. Almost all of it is false. And then we'll go, okay, well, this is what it's actually happening. And then they realize who is actually telling the truth. Is it me because of the facts I'm able to pull out, or is it their facts? And then it becomes quite clear easily that I'm not the one that's making up things as these guys are. It's so straightforwardly. It's like some of them are so obvious, like the list that you just went through. Some of them just ridiculously wrong. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yes. So, and it's crazy. You look at it, you say, what I always do is just add the missing pieces, because you've seen coworker drama before, or interpersonal drama where someone says, well, they did XYZ, and
Yeah.
then you say, well, what's
What did they
missing
do?
from this story? There's
Yeah.
something missing that you're not telling me, and that makes it a lot harder to understand. So yeah, that's all I do for the most part in real life. In Chattanooga, people would come up and say, I saw a story in the news, can you tell me what's really going on? And I would say, absolutely, that's why I'm here. And then they'd say, can I get a selfie with you? And I say, that's $30. No, no.
You're just
But
for the clicks, aren't you, Brian? You just want the
just
clicks.
I just want the clicks. Here's my Venmo. Yeah. So, guys, what did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Hey, did you know I'm doing Patreon and supporter exclusives 5 to 7 times a week? I did not do any while I was in Chattanooga. I was too busy, but when I'm at my desk, I do them. Stories that don't fit, stories that need more context, stories that would be uh, too attractive to trolls on the main channel. And then, of course, my daily puzzles. You can help me out in a variety of ways and get access to those, or just help me out because you love me. Herbert loves me, and it makes my life easier and better. And I appreciate you, brother. So, everybody else, like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comments below. It helps. It all helps. And stay tuned, stay juicy. And I can't wait to hear from you, clever robots, on the next one.